Hi, I'm Jonathan, and I'm back with another 5-second fifth grader test. Let's find out whether or not these websites pass that simple test. The 5-second fifth grader test is a test you need to run on your website to determine whether or not you're connecting with your audience as quickly as necessary.
Good morning. All right, we're going to do another 5-second fifth grader test today. And today we're going to head out to Kansas City. And due to a user request, we're going to look at adoption agencies in Kansas City area. So let's start here in Google and see what we can find. All right, so as usual, we've got the map that pops up here, and then we've got our top organic listings that we can take a look at as well. And let's pop in here and see where we go. I'm going to start with the map, as I know these are more local and more likely to show what we're interested in. So let's go ahead and open each of these in a new tab, and then we'll pop over and take a look. Now, before we do that, just a reminder on the 5-second fifth grader test. Our goal here is to find out in 5 seconds, without scrolling the screen, whether or not these websites can explain or answer 3 questions. 1, what do they do? 2, what's it mean to their audience? And 3, if their audience is interested, what should they do next? So let's get ready to count, and let's see if you can answer those 3 questions about American adoptions. Ready? Set, go. All right, were you able to? Well, sometimes it can be difficult, but let's take a look and evaluate for ourselves and see how they've done. So first question, what do they do? Well, based upon their name, it helps me understand, obviously, what they're trying to do. And that probably means, yes, I can understand pretty easily what it is they do. They also look like they're talking about what does adoption mean to a child, and have 2 buttons here for I'm pregnant or adopt a child. So I'm going to say they pass that first one, as in what do they do? The second, probably even more important, is what does it mean to the people on the website? So I'm looking, I know they do adoptions, but I really can't tell why that matters to me. In other words, and I understand I'm a guy at this point in time, but even if I'm interested in adopting, or if I were to have a daughter that might be pregnant or something, as I look at this, I don't really see any reason why I would want to pick American adoptions as opposed to anyone else, or what value they're going to bring to me. Think of it this way: how are they going to change my life for the better? And I don't see an answer to that. The third is, what should I do next? So if I'm interested and I've got, okay, I want to do something, what should I do next? Do they pass that? And I'm going to say they do here. We've got 2 buttons. Again, one I'm pregnant, one I'm adopt a child. I assume that's going to take us down a different path depending on what we click, but they do have a phone number right here and a contact button, so that they make it pretty easy if I'm interested to do that. So overall, a failure, but they do pass on 2 points of the 3. All right, let's go ahead and go back to our group. And now we're going to take a look at the lighthouse, as it's called. And let's go ahead and take a look. Ready? We're going to count to 5. Can you answer the 3 questions? Here we go. All right, so it looks like we ended up with something a bit different on that page. We're going to go back and see what's there. But that one was kind of interesting. Let's go take a look. So this was listed as the lighthouse, and it does seem to be the lighthouse indeed. Although if I look way up top, it does appear that this is a ministry of the Missouri Baptist Children's Home. And so again, if I'm searching for adoption, this is where it's going to bring me. I'm going to take a look here and just give them a little bit of credit here. Let's just see if we go to, oh, that's still the same basic page. But let's go ahead and click on their adoption program. All right, I'm going to go back and let's do a recount on this. Bad sign overall. They missed. We confused on that page, and that's bad. Or I should say they confused. We don't ever want to confuse, and they definitely did. But let's go back. Let's give them a second chance, and let's see if they can pass the test and answer these 3 questions again. Ready, set, go. All right. We're able to answer what they do, what it means to you, and what you should do next. Let's go back and let's evaluate it together. So first, what is it that they do? Well, they make it pretty clear the Lighthouse is an adoption program. So I'm going to guess in this case, if I'm interested in adoption, either because I'm a birth mom and I'm looking to adopt my child or have my child adopted, or if I'm looking to adopt as a parent, yeah, maybe that could probably do a little bit better, but I know they're about adoption. So I'm going to give them a pass on the first point. The second point, what does it mean to me? In other words, how is the Lighthouse adoption going to make me better, make my life better, and or the ones that I love? And yeah, I'm not seeing it here. I guess if I read way down, I might see that they are a full service adoption agency, really telling me what they do, but it's not telling me how they're going to make my life better. In fact, if anything, if I read it, I read things that are negative, like not accepting new families and not doing what I see down here, not home studies not available. So there may be reasons for that, but I'm going to say they fail on step 2. And then step 3 is, what should I do next if I'm interested? Again, I'm going to say they failed here. There is a phone number right here if I look carefully, but it's not prominent. It's hard to see. Again, remember, when we're talking about the 5-second fifth grader test, our goal is to not confuse our visitor. And in this case, unfortunately, although they may be a great agency, I don't know anything about them, their website has certainly failed and is confused. All right, so we've got one more to take a look at. So far, we've taken a look at 2. Both have passed some aspects, but nobody's passed the whole test. Let's go to our third one, Adoption Choices of Missouri, and let's take a look. All right. Any more luck on that one? I think we're going to find this to be a little bit better. Admittedly, 5 seconds is quick, and it's sometimes hard to tell, but let's go back and let's evaluate and take just a minute longer. So what do? Well, it talks about adoption choices, and I see 2 different logos up here. Looks like one's out of Kansas and one's Missouri. I definitely see things about adoption as an option. So I'm going to say, they're here to help out, and that makes good sense. I get that. I see what they're about. 2, how are they going to make my life better? In other words, if I'm interested in either adopting or placing a child up for adoption, how are they going to make my life better? Well, I do see they talk about adoption as an option, and possibly that's going to certainly solve my problem if I have an unwanted pregnancy. And I shouldn't say problem, but potentially solve my situation, do something wonderful for the child that I might be carrying. But I'm really not seeing, again, what that might mean to, in this case, a birth mom. These slides that are rotating through really strike me as somebody they're trying to reach that woman who's pregnant and may or may not want to have that child or keep that child. And I don't think they're doing a great job of telling that mom what value she's going to get or that her child might get by considering it an adoption. So I'm going to say they fail on the second one. And the third is, what should they do next? And this one they pass. Both up top here, prominent phone numbers, easy to see. I find it a little confusing that they have 2 different numbers. I know that Kansas City is, again, on a border, but I don't know that you want to necessarily have a Kansas and a Missouri number. That's a personal thing. They may be separate offices. Certainly, they're probably licensed by the 2 states. And so I can appreciate that may be necessary. I would love to see that as one phone number that maybe got routed based upon what the needs were. But that's a personal preference. They do have an email up here. That's great. And they've got a nice big button here, as well as down in the bottom, they've got a button. So overall, they do pass that third. There's some changes I'd like to see made to make that better, but they pass. So we've got 3 sites we've taken a look at: American Adoptions, Lighthouse Adoption, and Adoption Choices. All have passed some, none have passed all. So I hope this has been helpful as we take a look and help you figure out how can you do the best job of connecting with your audience, telling them what you do, explaining how you're going to make their life better, and what they should do next if they're interested. If you'd like to learn more about the 5-second fifth grader test, please reach out to me. I'd be happy to do a test on your site, and I'd be happy to do that either publicly or privately, depending on your preference. Any suggestions, any industries you'd like us to look at, please let us know.
Can someone look at your site for 5 seconds without scrolling and answer these 3 questions? 1, what is it that you do? 2, why should they work with you? What's in it for them? And 3, if they're interested, what should they do next? If your site answers that question, you're going to generate more leads and convert more of your visitors into qualified opportunities. If it fails that test, it may be beautiful, but you're going to convert fewer visitors into ultimate opportunities. If you'd like to learn more, I'd love to chat with you. I'd also love to review your site. If you're willing, make a note in the comments and I'd be happy to review your site as well. With that, make it a great day.